Hello everyone, I'm Ron Grant coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the Virgin Islands. You're watching 284 Media. The 2023 Emancipation Celebration, now in its 69th year, is named in honor and, of course, the legacy of Mrs. Irene Penn O'Neill. One of the most beautiful things I find about the fact that the village is named in her honor is the fact that she is here to celebrate it with us. She's joining us today for a conversation on the journey of the Emancipation celebrations from way back when she was crowned Miss BVI. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
When you're in need of air conditioning, installation, repairs, or replacement services, Markinson Air Conditioning and Refrigeration has the professional technicians, equipment, parts, and ACs to get the job done right. Markinson Air Conditioning and Refrigeration carries top brands like Daikin, Aircon, Mitsubishi, and more. We're open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Located in Fish Bay. Telephone 340-4114 or 343-9511. Markinson Air Conditioning and Refrigeration, providing exceptional services to the British Virgin Islands since 2015.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of the day. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, son.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut front of people.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you? You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Rashford made it. Manchester United have come from behind to lead.
At home or on the go, watch CCT Live. Download our app and carry your favorite TV shows, news, or live sports anywhere you go. Visit cctbvi.com/live, select your package, and tune in.
Welcome back everyone, I'm Ron Grant, you're watching 284 Media, and of course, as promised, we are joined by the honoree of the 2023 Emancipation Celebration, our festival, 69th, the lovely Mrs. Irene Penn O'Neill. My dear, welcome to our studios and thank you for your time.
Good morning and thank you very much, Ron, for having me.
It's a pleasure. As I mentioned, you were the very first Miss British Virgin Islands. That took place in 1975. And of course, a lot has transpired since then. You've been a member of the Virgin Islands Festival and Fairs Committee for quite some time as well. Before we get into that part of your journey and your legacy, when you were first made privy to be aware that you're going to be honored in this capacity, what was your initial thought process?
To be honest with you, Ron, I was really surprised.
Okay.
Because sometimes, you know, when you give your contributions to your country in any shape or form, sometimes you think people are not noticing. And I said, are you sure it's me? And they said, yes, Mrs. O'Neill, please say yes. I said, you sure it's me? You know? And then I said, sure, I'll be happy to. I'm honored, you know, because it was really surprising to me. But I appreciate the honor that was bestowed, you know, so I accept
Amazing. Well, congratulations on that honor. The village, of course, was officially opened just last night with the Gospel Fest. And you, of course, were presented with a plaque as the honoree. And you also gave remarks. What was your takeaway from the Gospel Fest and the opening ceremony?
My takeaway, I would say, Ron, was as usual, you know, that is the beginning of the opening of the festival season. And we should give God thanks and praise. And I always appreciate at the start with God, putting God first in everything we do, because it is our freedom from slavery that we are celebrating through our emancipation and festival. So we must be thankful for that. So the participants that participated in the Gospel Fest were locals to start the show off. Mr. Brent Hoyt,
Yes, of course.
a master at what he does. He was awesome, and his crew. My niece Angel, another vibrant young
Yes,
lady in her
yes.
church, and you know they did an awesome job bringing on the lead artist that was invited in. And I waited along just to hear that group, and I was very impressed.
Wonderful.
Very impressed. I sang along because I knew some of the songs. I didn't know all, but I sang along, I danced along because it was such moving. And I was pleasantly surprised, to be honest, to see so many young people.
Yes, indeed. Enjoying the
young
music.
people who came out and really was enjoying the music and dancing and praising their God to that event last night.
Amazing. So let's take it back. 1975, a young...
48 years.
Yeah, a young Miss Irene left your home in West End,
Yes.
Tortola, and of course you captured and were crowned the first Miss British Virgin Islands. Give us a little bit of a perspective as to what that was like back then. What was it like? Whether it was a coronation, did you have to sell tickets? What was that journey like?
That journey for us is so different to what it is now. Yes, we had some of the same segments that are in the present pageant, but what we had to start with was you had to sell tickets. Tickets were one of the big hallmark in your competition. So you go out throughout the community, you give books to your family, friends, your co-workers, everybody selling, pushing yourself, and you bring in the most money. That was a way of fundraising to help the festival committee as well, to put on the show. And who got the most tickets sold and the most money was named Miss Popularity. Not necessarily the winner.
Got you.
Because you still had to go through all the phases of what we didn't have was the introduction speech that we have now. We didn't have the platform to work on that we have now. But we had a swimwear, and I could recall myself in my green. I used the shade green because my mom was my seamstress. Bless her soul. And she said to me, "You're not going to go up there in a two-piece." You know, at that time you had to be so conservative to dare not show too much flesh. So I wore a one-piece green. Everything for me was a lime green or a royal green or some blue green. And my mom made my evening dress. We had a, what you call a casual wear section. I wore, at that time, was the African kinky type of print that was in. I didn't have my long straight hair. I had an afro. I had the shells that we used to wear at that time. We wore fancy red, gold jewelry and all of that. We were way back in the days where it was like funky style. And I came out in my casual wear with my afro, my kinky African attire on, and my shell bracelet and my necklace, and I'm really strutting across the stage. And then we had our evening wear. And our evening wear was the highlight of the evening. And my mom made my evening dress. It was a chiffon green, a green with a chiffon through, with rhinestone, bordered with rhinestone. I could see it now. You know, I lost all those albums and pictures that we had during the hurricane in 1989. So everything had gone from that pageant tree. And even some of my other photos we lost in the hurricane in 89. But then you had your talent. And I am deciding, what am I going to do for this talent? I always like singing but can't sing. So there was a Jamaican artist, Pluto. Uncle Benji, sit on a stone. And I decided I am singing that song. So I went home and I told my mom I'm going to sing the song. My dad said, I started to sing the song for my dad. Uncle Benji, in the yard, sit down on a stone. He said, daughter, sing that song. I could hear him now. He said, daughter, sing that song. And I went and I got the words from that song and I put in my lyrics and I went to town.
Awesome.
But Ron, when I got on stage and we performing and I carrying on up there, and because you're scanting now, you know, 'cause that was what was in, I forgot my lyrics, the lines.
Interesting.
Not a soul in the audience knew that because
Wow.
the audience knew the song was so popular. Everybody sang along with me. So when by the time I catch on where I was now, I picked back up. And I
because they
went
were
on.
singing too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the audience was so in tune with the song. I think I chose the right things, the right song, the right type of attire for the occasion and the time that we were in. That really appealed to me is what appealed to the audience.
Awesome.
And the support was awesome.
And you captured the title.
And I captured the title.
So let's put that in perspective. That was
Yes.
48 years ago.
48 years, could you believe?
Imagine that.
How young I am.
And you look amazing. But when you put that into perspective, now the journey that we have moved to as a country, what would you say are some of the differences that you've seen over the years, the evolution of our emancipation celebration, and particularly maybe even with the pageants?
Yeah, but the pageants, what I have seen as it evolved, is like enough emphasis is not put on our culture, because it is a culture that we are celebrating.
Correct.
And I would like to see more of our culture and our history. Because anyone who wants to run for a pageant to represent a country must know the country's history. Because when you go away, you're now competing against the global world. And the questions, you must be knowledgeable, number one, with your local news. You must be knowledgeable with the world news and all the local happenings, and be well versed in those things that you can have a conversation, and you can, when questions are being thrown to you, you have to be able to answer on the spot, you know? And that is one of the things that I would like to see improve, because I see that we have the shows and we go out and we select young ladies. And I don't think they have enough training, enough time. They should be preparing them 1 year out for the event. Picking them up like 2 to 3 weeks before the event is not enough time to be fair to the young ladies. I think they mean well. They wanted to do it, but I think they need more coaching, more advice, more knowledge to be able to go out there
Understood.
and represent us much more.
Wonderful. What would be your message to Virgin Islanders as we begin the celebrations of our emancipation celebration? What do you want them to be most cognizant of?
Our culture. Our culture. That is what I want them to be. This is who we are. Identify who we are. We have a diverse community here, people from different countries, and they celebrate their culture, and I applaud them. Because sometimes I'm sitting in my country and I'm in awe to see how, when it comes to their emancipation, or when it comes to their international day, or when it comes to their cultural celebration, they don't fail to tell you you know who they are, because they dressed for it, they speak about it, they hit the airwaves about it, and they celebrate it in their style. We do not do enough of that. Okay. I think I would like to see more of it, but it has to be taught in our schools. It must be ingrained in our young people from a tender age. The national song, I applaud that, to see where it has gone from where it is now to where we are now with it. And we can do the same with our culture, our history, our local food. You ask young people today what is our food, fish and food, they might tell you fried chicken and fries, but that is not it. But do they know any better? Because that's all they knew.
So incorporating it into our educational
yes,
curriculum.
Yes, it should start from in the school, put it into the curriculum, somehow get it in there. So it could be ingrained in them at a very early age, so they do not forget
Wonderful.
who we are. When they come up now and they're going abroad, now they can stand firm. A good example was Miss Globe, Mrs. Penn,
Arlene.
Dr. Irene
yes.
Penn. She just represented us in California. And I have to give kudos to that young lady. She promoted herself. She promoted the British Virgin Islands. The tourist board need to play a more role in pageantry, because we are ambassadors when we take on that title. And we must know everything about our country. We must have all facets of our community involved. We must know. That young lady was out there, and I spoke to her after because I was following her. And she was indicating to me that all she had was a sash, British Virgin Islands. But what is out there for people to see? what this means to the world. Tell the world who we are through this sash. They know she's Dr. Eileen Thompson by name. This is the country she's from, but what about the country? Is there any history behind it? When you're up against those world countries, they're telling you who they are, you know what they represent. So that is one of the things that I would like to see improve in pageantry, or any pageantry that we have people going about as ambassadors for our country.
Wonderful. Now, we have a lot of festivities lined up, of course, the various pageants. We've already crowned our prince and princess.
Yes.
We're going to have everything from our parade to our road march. We're going to have a food fair. I want you to give some encouraging words to the people of the territory who will be coming out in their numbers to celebrate, coming out to the village day after day. What would you say to them as we enjoy ourselves?
Especially I want to encourage the school children. Participate in troops. And that's another part of our culture. That's why I said it should start in the school. We should not be feeling for troops in our parade, August Monday, when we have all these primary and secondary and even private school. Come out with, because when I was younger, we came from West End with the fish and strings, live fish. I was in a troop at that time, and we were fish and sea corals, bring all the things out of the sea, showing you what we could bring from West End. And we had a potato and the banana and those things on string, showing you this because that is who we were. That is what we had. That was our lifestyle. And you didn't want people to forget it. We came into town and we won our prize in our troop because we portray our little district culture. And that is what I would like to see. A lot more of the schools get involved. Come into the parade. Big people, churches. The churches started the festival.
Interesting.
Both Methodist and the Anglican. And today now they're trying to close it down. And I, for the love of money, I don't understand why. Improve. Tell us where we can do, where we have gone astray. Try to bring us back. Don't try to close us down, close the festival down. And that is why I see the churches need to be more involved. Come out, celebrate. It is a freedom of our slavery. It is not just about music, jumping up and having a good time. That's the connotation that some people put on it. But if you really look beyond that, it is about who we are as a people. This morning I listened to Brother Angel Smith in his morning devotion. He was spot on. Spot on. We have to not forget who we are and to celebrate us. Celebrate us in all facets of our society.
I agree.
And not be ashamed of it. Because I think sometimes we are ashamed of who we are and where we came from.
Interesting.
So I would like to encourage people to come out, young people, celebrate in your style, do it as fair, do it as, what I want to say, free, enjoy yourself, do it without any incident. Let us just have clean fun, because that is what we have 3 public holidays to do. Celebrate us.
Wonderful. So I have some fun questions for you, because I have to figure out, as a cultural icon, what is your favorite Virgin Islands cuisine?
You know me. You know me. You have participated at Irene's.
Many times.
I am fungi and fish.
The people got to know though.
Fungi and fish is my favorite dish.
Okay.
It comes either in butter sauce or it comes with mayonnaise sauce. Fungi and fish. I also like fried Johnny cake soaked in cocoa or Ovaltine.
Interesting.
And I did an interview when I said, she said, cocoa
That's way back.
I said, yes, sweetheart, take me back to where I came from. That's what we had. That is who it was, what it was. This wasn't always baked dumb bread. You had fried Johnny cakes. Sometimes you had it with baking powder, sometimes you had it without baking powder. So those 2 are my favorite
Those 2 are your favorites. I know about the fish for sure, personally.
I push that a lot.
Yes.
And my peas and rice.
Pea soup.
Do not forget my peas and rice. Rice and peas, I understand, I respect that. But in the BVI, it is peas and rice.
And more peas than rice.
Okay. And for our pea soup, that's our soup. We get a lot of flack for our milk and sugar. But trust me, that is now beginning to resonate through people. And they're now beginning to love it and appreciate it.
It's one of my favorites.
But we should never let our culture die because someone may not like it. Because that's not everything that I like in other countries, but I tried because if it didn't do them anything, it's not going to kill me either.
Right, right.
So I feel as if, yeah, okay, I should do
Let's
it.
try it.
You know, try it.
Do you have a favorite Virgin Islands drink or rum? It doesn't have to be alcohol. It could be a soft drink, but a local drink.
Gin and coconut water.
Cool.
Gin and coconut water.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Awesome. If you could take someone from Virgin Islands yesteryear, that simply means that they're no longer with us. It could be personal or professional. Specific to the Virgin Islands, who would you take and why? I know that's a tough one for
That's
you.
a difficult one because all the people that I knew still here with me.
Okay.
And that's a difficult one because the only way you'll send me back now is to. There was a lady in Capoon's. Oh, there's a lady in Frenchman's Key. Her name it was Miss Olive Smith, Shayna's grandmother.
Okay.
I'll take her because she
Awesome.
believed in her culture. She constantly kept a peppermint candy.
Mm.
I've never seen a person who, wherever she goes, she showcased a peppermint candy in every shape and form.
Olive Smith.
Olive Smith,
Wonderful.
Frenchman's Key.
Well, Miss Irene, once again, congratulations on this auspicious honor. Well deserved, of
Thank you very
course, by
much.
far. You continue outside of what you did in pageantry and with the Virgin Islands Festival and Fairs Committee. Your work is still eminent as a former member of the Legislative Council and as a business owner who continues to push the culture and heritage of the Virgin Islands through your cuisines.
Yes.
So we want to congratulate you here at 284 Media and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure having me. And I want to shout out everyone out there to have a very happy, safe, incident-free, and clean, fun festival at the Irene Penn O'Neill Festival 2023. God bless you all.
Wonderful viewers, that is all the time we have. We were joined by the lovely Mrs. Irene Penn O'Neill, the territory's very first Miss British Virgin Islands, to whom the village is named in honor some 48 years ago, but she's still making her mark and still making her contributions. Enjoy the festivities. A happy emancipation to all. Goodbye.